key to taking away Wall Street's power is their golden goose is the Federal Reserve Bank of New York, which creates money out of thin air. And as long as they've got that, they got this power that they use to control all the corporations. They decide who gets loans and who doesn't, when loans are made. By not making loans, they can create recession. By making too many loans, they create inflation, printing money out of thin air. And so they've had this power for 100 years now, and they correlate this power into control of all the Fortune 500 corporations. They control them. They control both parties. They control the Democratic Party. They control the Republican Party. And so that's why both parties will never talk about the Fed. And they also control the mainstream media. And so that's why the mainstream media never talks about the Fed. And so they correlate this control, and they use it. They robbed us of our democracy. They talk about freedom of the press. We don't have free press. They talk about free markets. We don't have a free market. They have robbed us of our democracy, and this has been going on. And now people, the Tea Party, Ron Paul, the Occupy Wall Street, everybody's figuring it out. So we all just need to come together. We need to unify and get rid of the Federal Reserve. And the way to do it is to go back to Benjamin Franklin's colonial scrip system, which was tax-free, debt-free. There was never any unemployment because money was created to put people to work. That's an honest money system. And so in this pamphlet, this 8-page pamphlet, it explains the history of how a tax-free scrip system works. I wrote this pamphlet to go to the state legislature in January, and I'd like to have a group where we go in, we lobby the lawmakers, we show them here's an idea that gets rid of taxation, gets rid of usury, gets rid of inflation, gets rid of recession. This is the Benjamin Franklin scrip system that I've modernized, and now to create an interstate scrip system. And there would never be any unemployment under this system because you use money to put people to work. You create it, you put people to work. But in 1913, our government, Woodrow Wilson, and some big lawmakers it was J.P. Morgan, John D. Rockefeller, Warburg, and Schiff that went and they wrote this Federal Reserve Act, and they concentrated all this power in New York. And until you get rid of the Fed, until you end the Fed, like Ron Paul is saying, we're going to have trouble worldwide. They own the military-industrial complex. Wall Street makes money by putting people into debt. They create the debt out of thin air, and then, for example, when you buy a house, you have to go to the bank, and let's say they get 10% for 30 years. All the banker has to do is write this sign, put his signature down, it creates the money. The person buying the house, let's say you're buying a house, after 30 years, you will have bought through blood, sweat, and tears, you will have bought yourself one house, and the banker 2 houses. And all he had to do was sign. So this is the kind of injustice, and this is the root. All these people that are chopping on the bushes, you got for every 1,000 people you got chopping on the bushes, you maybe have one chopping at the root, and that's Ron Paul. He's the only candidate that's saying end the Fed. Until we end the Fed, that's the root of all of our problems. That's the root of the military-industrial complex. That's the root of the mainstream media. That's the root of the Fortune 500 corporations. And these are the people that rule us. They tell us we have a democracy. It's the big lie. They tell us we have free markets. It's a big lie. They tell us we have free press. It's the big lie. And what you young people are doing, I'm very proud of you. It makes me want to cry because I've been wanting this since I first started studying it when I was in college 30 years ago. And so now finally people are waking up, and we don't want to go down and we don't want to antagonize the police. We want to educate people. We want to unify people. We want to bring them all together, and we want to end the Fed. And if you end the Fed, what are you going to replace it with? That's what this plan is all about right there. If you'll read it, I think you'll find it simple to understand. It explains how an honest money system works. It shows who controls the money system. It shows all the problems there. And so I'm excited about this. And I don't want to go down there and antagonize the police or do things. We need to be upstanding citizens of all different varieties of American people, old, young, whatever. We need to bring the liberals and the conservatives together because, no taxes.
99%.
Yeah, that's the 99%. And so that's what we need. That's the kind of protest that we need to make. That's what I'm all for. That's why I'm here today, and I'm proud of you guys for being here. So thank you. And read my pen.
Thank you. Gotta run for office.